Almost 40 years ago, Tom Hopkins taught us to sell anything in his book, How to Master the Art of Selling. At the time, it was a groundbreaking book, and it was incredibly well received, selling millions and millions of copies. The challenge that I see is that most salespeople are still using a lot of those same outdated techniques that were relevant 40 years ago. The art of selling anything has changed dramatically. In fact, most of what you would have learned in Tom Hopkins' book is barely even relevant today. In this video, I'm going to show you how to master the art of selling anything in today's world. Check it out. Number 1, stop trying to sell anything. This romantic idea of the salesperson who is so great that they can literally sell anything to anyone is ludicrous. If you are a great salesperson, the first thing that you want to do is make sure that what you're selling is in fact both desirable and needed by your ideal client, and that your ideal client has money that they can invest in your solution. So before we go any further, think about that right now. Is what you're selling right now, is it desirable and necessary to an ideal client who would be willing to invest in it? If not, it's time to switch gears or switch organizations to make sure that what you're selling fits that criteria. So for the rest of the video, we're going to assume that that's the case. And I'm going to walk you through a framework to ensure that you can sell your offering to that ideal client. Number 2, challenges. It's time to focus on the challenges your prospects have. For years and years, we were taught by gurus like Tom Hopkins that our prospects should have interest. This is simply an old school way of looking at sales. Focusing on interest is actually focusing on your offering, not on the prospect, right? What's most critical is to understand the challenges that our prospects are facing within the domain of what your offering can actually solve. And so that means starting your interactions by understanding what are their most critical challenges from their perspective. So you can start that conversation by suggesting a couple of common challenges that you're seeing in the marketplace right now. This is both going to show that you have some expertise, but it's also going to engage them in a conversation around their challenges. Number 3, upside. Just understanding what's holding them back is great, but you also need to understand the value of solving those challenges. Because if you don't, you're likely to cause your prospect to really not see the value in what you're selling. So this means asking a question like, if you were able to solve the challenges that we've discussed, what would that mean in increased revenue or profit to the organization? We want to be sure to have them actually do the math themselves, not you. I see salespeople all the time who tell the prospect what the increase in revenue will be, but you don't want to give them the number. They should be able to do that math themselves. It can be very simple, but it makes it so much more powerful.